Hey guys, I'm back with another video. For those of you that may not know me or are kind of new to my channel, my name is Emily. This channel is called Pucokie. I wanted to get into the topic of this video. And the topic of this video is becoming human again. What I mean by becoming human again is this is us coming back to the fact that at the end of the day, we are no different than other people. We are not separate from others. And what we say to other people, those things that we think in our weak moments, the negative words that we use towards one another to put blame on someone else, to devalue someone else, to whatever fill in the blank you have done, because I know I've done this before, and this is something that is part of the human experience. I don't know of anybody that hasn't been at least one time upset with someone else, has said something negative of someone else, has gossiped, has felt jealousy. You know, there might be a small percentage of people that haven't experienced that, but I believe that almost everybody has. And the thing about that, the thing about saying these negative things to one another, going online and going on a YouTube video and typing, "Oh, you're ugly," or "Oh, I don't like the way you sound. I don't like the way you are delivering this information. I think you're fat. I think you're too skinny. I think you're fill in the blank again." Whatever those things that you have seen online, because I know all of us has seen this at some point. We've seen the trolls. We've seen the people that are just there to hate on one another. And the thing is, when we do this, again, for all I know, maybe you have done that before. And I don't blame you, because we often want to lash out at certain situations, and it's so easy online. It's so easy to be behind a keyboard or a phone or whatever you're behind and say nasty things to one another. We have this shield up, this shield of being anonymous, being someone that, okay, I can just write some type of random negative thing on someone's page, and unless I have my name on there, unless there's some way of tracking me, I can write things and people will never know it was me. So this has given people a platform to be able to dog on other people, to bash other people, to pull others down. And the thing about that is you're not only harming yourself, because whatever you say is ultimately going back to you. I personally believe in karma, and maybe you don't believe in karma, so to speak, but there's a lot of power with words. And oftentimes people don't think about that. They don't think about the power that words have. A word could be the difference between someone living or dying. You don't know what other people are going through. You don't know what they're thinking and what their situation is. And this goes for the people that write hateful things, or they say hateful things to people in person, whatever it is, talk negatively about someone behind their back. Again, I've done that, and I would guarantee almost all of you guys have done that at some point. Maybe not do it online, but you've more than likely done it in person before. You know, we're not immune to those things. Sometimes we feel jealousy, sometimes we feel betrayal, sometimes we feel victimized. And oftentimes it does come from that place. When you see others that are malicious towards one another, or they do things that are mean or evil, so to speak, there's a reason behind that. Someone that is truly intrinsically happy with themselves and has a high self-esteem in all aspects is not going to lash out like that. And we don't always have everything perfect, so to speak. We're not always completely comfortable with the way we look, or maybe even our abilities inwardly. Maybe you think you're not as intelligent as someone else. And maybe you see someone that's intelligent and you feel this ping of jealousy and you want to level the playing field by bringing them down a notch. This dehumanizes the other person. This makes a us versus them mentality. Okay, so these people are separate from me because they're the mean people. They're the evil people. But in all reality, most people have good intent, and they don't think of themselves as bad or evil. Most people aren't doing things that, let's say, are murdering people or, defiling people. Most people don't do that. And even people that do that, and I'm not trying to justify that, because those acts are in many ways evil. Those people are doing it from a place of lack. They're doing it from a place where they feel like they need to do something about their situation. And so they decide lashing out is the answer. Saying something mean about Sally down the street is the answer. Putting other people down, talking behind their back, saying these malicious things to one another, when really the answer is trying to uplift people. Instead of trying to shame people and devalue people and degrade people, we should be giving input. And sometimes it is critical, but there's a difference between criticizing in a malicious way versus giving constructive criticism. And again, we often find ourselves feeling detached from celebrities, politicians, people online, because they're not physically with us. We don't physically know them. So it's very easy to be like, oh, well, this person is on the other side of the world behind this screen. This is a video. This is a post on Facebook. This is a photo on Instagram. I can write something, I can take out my feelings on this person. This person said something I don't agree with, and I'm upset, or I am hurt by this person, so I'm going to lash out at this person. But before you lash out, before you say negative things, before you go over to someone's page or go over to someone in real life or gossip about someone, spreading something that is mean towards that person, maybe the things that you're pointing out are true. But when it comes to things like appearance or things that people can't 100% help, maybe someone has a lisp, maybe someone is disabled in some way, and we criticize them, we bully them, we pick on them. What does that say about us? What does that say about us as a human species? Because at the end of the day, our nature is to be social, is to be creative in such a way that is lifting other people up. Because without others, the human species would not survive. We are not an antisocial species. And maybe there are antisocial people. Maybe there are people that have a disorder. But as a collective, as a whole, in general, we are here to work with one another. We are here to be there for one another. And when we lose sight of that, we dehumanize them. We place that divide. And it can be difficult to try to get that back. It's difficult to admit that you are wrong. It's difficult to apologize. But if more people did apologize, if more people, instead of hurting, blaming, shaming others, but instead giving constructive criticism, giving feedback that isn't bashing someone or trying to belittle them or degrade them or lower them down just because we feel insecure. Maybe we're in a bad mood. Maybe we are driving on the highway, and I know that I do this all the time, and I've gotten a lot better at this, but it's so easy when you're driving down the interstate to look at that person on the left or right of you that's driving like an insane person. They're swerving, they're tailgating you, they're going too slow, too fast, whatever it is. It's so easy to be like, to say F you, or what the F is this person doing? What, why is this person so horrible? It's so easy to just dehumanize that person and not see them as a human being because you see the car, the truck, whatever it is, going down the highway, the interstate, and we dissociate. I think that the answer is just to try our best, and you're going to sometimes not meet up to this expectation. Sometimes you're going to revert back to maybe gossiping about someone, saying something negative. That's just part of the human experience. In the same way that we are social creatures, we are flawed creatures as well. And so you shouldn't be too hard on yourself. But in those moments where you have a malicious thought, where you have a critical thought, determine why you have that thought and think of a way of, if you really want to give someone input or constructive criticism, think of a way of delivering it, not in a coddling sort of way, not in a way that is, oh, you're doing so great. Like, you don't need to lighten the blow, so to speak, all the time. But if we learn to treat each other with respect, if we learn to realize, even if we fall short sometimes, if we learn to realize that you are no different than me, I'm no different than the person down the street. We may have different backgrounds. We may be a different gender. We may have had different socioeconomic upbringings. There can be many factors that are different. But at the end of the day, we share this world. We're ultimately all connected. And this isn't me trying to say that we're all connected in like a hippie sort of way, a necessarily spiritual sort of way. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just a fact. So what I think we should do is, even if it's just a few times each day, even if it's just once a day, if we can change some of that negativity into positivity, into something that's constructive, into something that is trying to uplift people, to help people. And maybe not everybody's going to agree with what you're saying. And maybe people are still going to be offended. The reality is, people get offended pretty easily. Not everybody, but a good amount of people. But all you can do is control the way you react to things. You have to take 100% of that responsibility and realize that you can control what you put out into this world. No matter what you've experienced, no matter, again, what your background is, you can control that. And we can get back to the fact that we are all human beings. Unless we're cats or dogs. I don't know if you guys can see, my cat Fleur is in the background. But even for animals. So that being said, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. And let me know what you think about this. I know not everybody's going to agree, but what are some ways that you personally feel like you can help change that narrative? help to not always dehumanize people. And maybe you don't always do that. But think of the people that you dislike, or politicians, celebrities, whatever that may be, and try to think about them as your family member, your friend. Think of them as a human being. And when we think about people as human beings, and we start treating people with respect and love and positivity, our world will be able to change for the better. Bye, guys.